Jasmine, hi. How are you?
I'm well, Cara. How are you going?
Good. I've literally just bought my ticket and I'm so excited for your event.
Oh, I'm very glad to hear that.
Awesome. I do have a couple of questions. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. Ask me anything.
Awesome. Um, yeah, so I'm just thinking, like with a strategic business plan, if you already have a business and you've got clients and everything's going really well, why do you need a strategic business plan? Like what's involved?
That's a really good question. I actually get asked that quite a lot. And I find with small business owners, they get so caught up in the doing that they're kind of just going with the flow and everything's sort of just happening. Some of it's luck, some of it's intentional, but they could just be achieving so much more. And that's why I just love everything to do with strategy, because when you sit down and focus on where you want to be in the next, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, suddenly it becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy and you actually achieve it. And everything you do, all of the actions you do in your company, all the marketing you do in your company, even down to the clients that you want to work with, all line up and ladder up to that bigger strategy, and suddenly you take off. So
Yes.
yeah, it is actually really quite important. And unlike, I guess, there's a perception that it can be quite boring and cumbersome. No way. This is fun stuff. This is where the creative juices start flowing, and you look at the market and you think of big ideas. What could be better than that?
Yes, yes, very true. So instead of like, fumbling your way through getting to where you want to be, you have a plan. You are going to get there. Not maybe get there, you will get there.
You will get there. And it's one of those things. It feels like you do a business plan and then you put it in your filing cabinet, maybe digital or an actual filing cabinet, and just collects dust and you forget about it. And that's actually not how good strategy works. So it's actually something that you should be doing regularly. Every 90
That
days is best practice.
yes, that was my next question. Is that is it something that we have to do regularly? If so, how often? Is this something that this workshop is going to teach us how to do? Because obviously we're all time poor, but maybe this strategy is going to help with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So to answer your first question, as I said before, yes, it is something you should be doing regularly. There is quite literally no market, no industry on this planet. I'm happy to be challenged on that, but there is no industry, nothing changes ever. I mean, who knew that COVID was going to hit us this year? So every 90 days, so once a quarter, you should sit down, either review your plan or do a new one, and move with your market, move with your customer, because customer preferences are changing all the time. If no one did anything, there'd be no innovation, there'd be no Apple, there'd be no iPod. Like, that's the kind of innovation that comes from strategic business planning. So
Oh,
do it
awesome.
regularly, have a ball with it, review it, and you're always going to stay one step ahead of the competition, or better yet, you might even find an opportunity that your ideal target customer doesn't even know they want yet. And
Yes.
Apple example is a really good one, because there were other companies making MP3 players, but Apple just did it better, and suddenly all of us wanted an iPod. So in your niche, you could be
Yeah.
Apple, but only if you sit down and actually put some time into it. And as I said before, it doesn't have to be a lot of time. It's just focused time working on your business.
Oh, and I've got goosebumps. I'm so excited for this for my business.
You could
Um,
be the next Apple car.
it's going to happen. It's totally going to happen. So another thing that I noticed too, and last question I do promise, is that strategic business plans actually range from like $100 to almost $1,000, if not more. Um, yours is 199. It's too good to be true. Why? Why are you doing this for us?
Well, a few reasons. I mean, to answer your first question, when you get to that sort of corporate multinational level, there are teams of hundreds of people, and all they do is strategy. And they do that cycle of every year they do a big plan, and then every quarter they review it, and even their budgets are tweaked versions of their strategy. So it's that important.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about how many people like an Apple or some of the big Australian banks or a Telstra have, like hundreds of people working on that
Yeah.
strategy. So when it comes to, I guess, what I do, so I specialize in strategic business planning, And when I sit down and do it with a smaller or medium-sized business, it takes me, the whole kit and caboodle can take up to, 8 to 10 weeks to do it properly.
Wow,
And
right.
it's a lot of money. It's a lot of investment.
Yeah.
Get at the end of it. I mean, it's a spin-off to your marketing, to your brand, to every customer communications you ever have. So $199 is our, it's an express version because people are time poor. It is 3 hours of power. And, it won't take you 6 to 8 weeks plus to do it. You will be able to walk away after 3 hours with an actionable plan that you can implement in your business quite literally the minute you walk out the door. So it's taken me a long time to develop this express version of the strategic business because as a small business owner myself, I know that you are time poor, and to have a dedicated 3-hour window is a luxury. So you want to walk away with an action plan, right? So the other good thing is that I've developed as part of this workshop a workbook, which actually has every single step of the strategic business planning process in it. We will go through it on the day, but that workbook is yours to keep. It's a living, breathing document that you can look back on every 90 days, hopefully. But
that's awesome.
In your hot little hands to do it yourself. So there's a lot of, you'll be doing a lot of the heavy lifting. That's why it's price point.
Well, no, you've definitely laid the foundations for us and guided the way. So no, that's great. So it's not only are we learning how to do this for our business, it's also a great networking opportunity for business owners in Brisbane. That's really exciting. And you've done all this with your little one, like mum goals. Seriously.
Yes. Well, the workshop, and as you say, there's only 15 people who are going to be at a workshop at any given time, which I'm really passionate about because that means that you get heaps of one-on-one time with me, you get heaps of one-on-one time with everybody else, and they're not just any business owners, they're actually business owners who are as ambitious and as hungry as you are. So that's why I say hello referral network, because these are people that you can work with, you can collaborate with. You've all been on the same journey. You're all growing your businesses in 2021 or even sooner if you want to. So it's really good, and I'm actually looking forward to sitting down, having some lunch. Some really cool business people. And the little man will stay at home for this one.
Damn. Yeah, it looks like a gorgeous venue as well. So I'm really excited.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for answering my questions. I know I'm a bit of a pain, but
not at all.
But yeah, I'm really excited. All right, well, I'll see you there.
See ya.